If you've watched The Great Escape Korea or my previous episode of Puzzlewatch, you already know the drill. A team of celebrities gets locked into an immersive mystery escape scenario, and we get to watch them panic, puzzle, and occasionally faceplant their way out. But what happens when you take that same concept, send it across borders, and hand it over to the Chinese variety show machine? Well, you get 密室大逃脱, stylized simply as Great Escape in English, now in its 7th season as of recording. And in true Chinese variety fashion, it's somehow both goofier and more intense at the same time. Welcome to Puzzlewatch, a show where I break down escape room variety shows. These aren't your usual puzzle rooms. They are cinematic, immersive, and almost entirely missing in Western media. Hi, I'm Alanna. I design immersive games with a special focus on escape rooms and puzzle storytelling. Through my brand Thorn & Key, I create mysteries you can hold in your hands, from tabletop puzzles to narrative artifacts. And here on Puzzlewatch, I break down some of the most creative escape-style shows from around the world. Today we're watching the first season of the Chinese adaptation of The Great Escape and seeing how it compares to the original Korean IP. For some context, this season we're watching today first aired in 2019. In China, the show airs on Mango TV with YouTube uploads on the channel Mango Mystery TV. The channel is basically a mystery variety buffet. You'll find Who's the Murderer, also based on a Korean IP, Yes or No, a lateral thinking puzzle game show, and a whole lineup of 剧本杀 style game shows with different themes. The guests are almost always well-known celebrities like actors, singers, or even athletes, which makes for maximum entertainment when they're thrown into weird situations. One of the unique things about Great Escape China is that each case actually runs twice. The first run is the celebrity version, which we're watching today. The second run is played by the masters, who are basically graduates of China's top universities. And these players have basically earned their own fan base by guesting on other puzzle and logic variety shows. It's a clever production trick because it's one set, but they get two shows with different vibes. And from what I understand, the Masters run is actually the playtest run for the puzzles and the camera angles before the production crew resets the set for the celebrity run. Season 1 celebrity team is Yang Mi, Xie Yilin, Wei Daxun, Deng Lun, Justin, and Zhang Guowei. As first episodes go, the cast starts politely feeling each other out, but the comfort level rises pretty fast. Just from the first scene alone, you can already see the group dynamic settling a little bit. Xie Lin is in charge of cracking jokes to keep the mood light. Zhang Guowei throws in all his ridiculous antics, and Yang Mi is the one who will pull people back together when they start getting off track. The first case of the first season is Secrets of Barbecue, and it spans 2 episodes. Like the Korean original, the team is dumped into a room with no context, in this case, a brightly lit storeroom. But unlike the Korean cast, the Chinese cast has probably watched enough of the original to have a rough idea of what's about to happen. So the cast in that first scene quickly realize they're in a storeroom of a barbecue skewer shop, and from there they get to start unlocking doors, exploring the back rooms, and uncovering, well, I won't spoil the deeper story beats. This first case leans toward 2 different styles of puzzles. One is the physical team cooperation, team cooperation sort of puzzles. And there's also the key hunt style sort of challenges where you have to go look for a certain prop. If you've seen later episodes of this season, you can tell that the designers are really trying to ease the cast in for this episode. The puzzles aren't especially brain-breaking yet, and they're more about getting everybody moving and interacting with each other. There's also a significant number of red herring clues in here, but it keeps the entertainment level high, and it's a choice that I can understand, even if as a puzzle designer myself, I don't plant red herrings in my own games. One of the strong points here is narrative flow. The set transitions from one room to the next in a way that feels really natural. There are no jarring and slapped together spaces. That said, some of the puzzle contexts feel a little odd and are obviously there just for entertainment. For instance, why would a shop back end require traditional wedding clothes? Or why would a perfectly ordinary storefront hide a slippery slope trap like it's a Bond villain's lair? Some rooms also have that freshly built look, which look functional, but are not convincingly lived in. The saving grace is the cast's buy-in. They react to the narrative beats with real emotional responses, not just, oh, okay, great, cool, next puzzle. And that helps the immersion even when a challenge feels a little bit contrived. For this case and for most of the season, most valuable player goes to Justin. He's goal-oriented, keeps the team focused, and he has the rare ability to kind of like step back, reassess, and redirect when they hit a dead end. Honorable mention, however, goes to Zhang Guowei. He's not particularly puzzle-minded, but he is fearless, willing to get messy, and he's always supporting his teammates when it counts. For me, my favorite puzzle was the musical lock. So in this puzzle, players had to match the tones of an electronic lock to a melody that they found in the background of a video that they found before entering that room. In the show, it kind of played kind of long and tedious as they're solving it, but conceptually, I thought it was a really fun cross-modal sort of puzzle. If you're intending to watch The Great Escape China, brace yourself for very obvious sponsorship breaks. The celebrity episodes in particular have very visible product placement, sometimes even inside the puzzles, and of course deliberate cutaways for taglines.
逃脱状态不在，喝口脉动回来哦。
In this particular episode, the drink sponsor for this season fits naturally into the skewer shop setting, so it's less jarring. But the format never ever hides the marketing. Accessibility-wise, all 7 seasons are on YouTube. The catch is that season 1 has no English subtitles. If you don't understand Mandarin, I recommend starting from season 2, which has pretty serviceable English captions. I had a lot of fun thinking about the Korean and Chinese approaches to the same game format, and especially comparing the first episodes of the first seasons. One fascinating parallel was the backwards conveyor belt puzzle, which was used in both languages. In the Korean version, it's the final physical push before the actual escape, but I think it was pretty underwhelming narratively, and the cast's reaction to that puzzle said as much. In the China version, it's used mid-case as a transition between the good and the bad spaces. And the dark tunnel right at the end amps up the tension and signals to players and the viewers that they're crossing into something sinister. In my opinion, this lands harder narratively as compared to the Korean version. Also notable is that the Chinese team also spends 3 hours stuck in the first room, but unlike the Korean cast, no one is sulking, no one is complaining, they just kind of like grind through it together. I really enjoyed the twist in the narrative right at the end, and the fact that it came with a public service announcement. And this is something that the China version tends to do throughout many episodes across all the 7 seasons. Overall, it was a strong opener for the series and a great showcase for the ensemble cast, and a really fun study for me in how the same core format is adapted differently across the different countries. And so that's it for this episode of Puzzlewatch. What did you think about the first season of The Great Escape China? Next time, we'll jump to the current season, season 7, and we'll see how far the format has evolved. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like or subscribe to follow along. And if there's a puzzle show that you love that I haven't covered, please drop it in the comments. As always, thank you for solving with me, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.